Hello everybody, welcome back for StarCraft 2 action. And in the blue trunks, we have heromarine going up against the boy in the or the red trunks. Damn, messed that up now, didn't I? GumiHo, Gumagod. We load up into Whispers of Gold, and heromarine is already sending out his first SCV to get a little cheeky with it. Now, heromarine, second in his group, with Rainer and Clem. Group with Rainer, Clem, heromarine. He got second. It's not bad. I'm not mentioning the other players out of the group, I'm sorry. Mixu, I see you. GumiHo got first in his group. 2-0'd everybody. Except for Nightmare. He lost to Nightmare, 1-2. And actually beat out Nightmare for the first spot in that group because of map score. Oh! Double. The double proxy racks. Dude, heromarine came out to play. So we saw a TVT series, Maru versus Ryung, recently on this channel. And we saw some Skymech versus Thormech going into the super late game. I do recommend you check that one out. Game 2, the rest is whatever. But it looked to be a whole lot of Reaper with a factory unit into either a medevac or a Banshee, into a bunch of Ravens, and then kind of looked like, am I gonna make more tanks? Are you gonna make more tanks? Am I gonna make more Vikings? Or is he gonna make more Vikings? When can I get the Libs? And how do I not die to Libs? Because Liberators basically break the siege lines. Now, Double Reaper coming out for heromarine. GumiHo has no Reaper at all. Actually getting an instant reactor. He has enough gas for double Reaper production, and he starts it up. And heromarine even banking up the first Reaper here. I am curious to see when he goes in. I would say you go in with 2, because you don't expect your opponent to have more than you. And he does go in with 2. Is gonna see this. Oh, the supply depot goes up. heromarine gets in. Is he going to cancel this factory? At least delay it? No, he's not going to delay that factory at all. Now a Hellion is coming out. And 2 Reapers about to spawn. And these Reapers are in big trouble here from heromarine. Oh, they get caught. At least one of them gets caught. And now the second one is getting... Oh my god. Gumi Stutter Step Micro on point. Manages to follow the Reaper. And now heromarine gets his racks found as well. And Gumi's Reaper actually gets away there. Dude. Gumi loses 1 Reaper for 3. Think about that. That is crazy. Hellion now joining up with the Reaper of heromarine, and he must not be happy. Gumi pulling out the micro, dude. Now, not Gumi X Bear for the old heads of us. Or among us. Talking about GumiHo. 3 Reapers, 2 Hellion squad going into heromarines' space. Oh, this Reaper is not happy. He's like, I'm one of the guys. I'm with the boys. He was not with the boys. He was not one of them. And the bunker's not enough. Should have had like double depot. Maybe the factory could have been in the wall, but the Hellions get in, the Reapers get in, and it's only 2 Reapers for heromarine. Oh my god, they're even stacked up. The Hellions get a juicy shot. And this is going from bad to worse. 6 SCVs already down, and heromarine kicks the bucket and calls GG for game number 1. And for game number 2, we load up into Amygdala. GumiHo goes up 1-0 against heromarine in this best of 5. Loser is out of the tournament. Now, I like that heromarine went into this early aggression, went for the double proxy racks. GumiHo's gonna have that in the back of his mind for the rest of the series. Like, this guy is an animal. He's crazy. He could do anything. And I like it when you bring that energy. And of course, heromarine on home turf should be feeling comfortable. You're down 1-0. Whatever. You can bring it back, right? Right? Now, I have one complaint about this map. One, look at these rocks. These are clearly floating rocks. What's up with that? They're clearly floating. And look at this. this seems like a pathway because of it. Maybe because these are floating. So at first I thought that the area behind the gold was completely closed off and that you couldn't get there until later. But is that the case, or can workers actually squeeze through? I need to know. I just haven't had an opportunity to test. Heromarine goes across the map to scout, because these debris slowly counting down their HP points. Kind of interesting. Timed rocks. Well, they're not really timed, because if they're timed, they would be full HP and then explode at a certain point. Ooh. Heromarine does see the CC. Does not have a CC of his own. Is going for the factory, has the double gas. Whereas GumiHo goes for the one factory. And wow, his Heromarine SCV really punching this SCV of GumiHo. Now goes away for the Reaper. Of course, Heromarine overextended a little bit. Not respecting the Reaper timing from GumiHo. Oh, Sag. Lag issues at the Homestory Cup this year. Very unfortunate. So I'm still a little confused on what double gas builds give you, since most of them are used just to get a factory out a little quicker. I guess that's what it gives you. It gives you a quicker factory for a slower command center. But it seems like the command center is just so much, or like so much earlier for GumiHo. But especially in the mirror, this might actually be very, very influential. If you just get that Cyclone a little earlier, the Hellion a little earlier, you can suddenly catch your opponent's Reaper going up a ramp and then snowball that advantage, like we saw in game number 1. Heromarine took one bad trade, snowballed into another bad trade, and all of a sudden, all hell broke loose for Heromarine, and he couldn't hold on to the game anymore. Ooh, the first Reaper does go down for Heromarine here. The Hellion for GumiHo trying to come over. And ooh, there's a Banshee coming here for GumiHo. Reactor being built on the barracks. Double Marine in front. Heromarine just finishing up his CC. Already starting the third gas. It keeps being weird to me. Seeing a Terran build this quick of a gas. Like, if I see this in Zerg versus Terran, it's like, oh, that's mech. It's 100% mech. Can't be anything else. Why do you need that much gas, bro? But in TVT, it's just a thing. Don't need that third CC as early. You need all those tech units. You need those upgrades. And we see a Raven coming out here with a Cyclone, a Prime, Banshee hunting units. Ooh, Reaper does get found out by the Hellion squad of GumiHo. 2 Reapers have died on the side of Heromarine. And now the Hellion squad comes in. The Cyclone is there to meet them. Oh, the lock-on breaks at the last second. Hellion's too fast. And the Cyclone was actually on a move because it stopped to, like, target. I think you can target whilst moving, and you could probably get the kill on the Hellion. Ooh, Banshee's coming up. Cloak is finished now, and the double Banshee with Cloak are gonna roam the map. You can get a good amount of kills on those SCVs. I don't remember by heart if 2 Banshees one-shot an SCV or not. I suppose they do, because why would you otherwise do this? We're gonna find out. I know they 2-shot drones and probes, but SCVs have slightly more HP, so it's always a little fucky. Debris, only 700 health remaining, guys. Exciting. Oh, the Banshee's pre-cloak, making sure that they can't get found out. If there's a Marine over here, won't see anything, but there's double Banshee here, or double Raven. The Banshees come in, they dive on top of the Cyclone, get the Cyclone kill for free, and even though Heromarine has detection, doesn't have enough anti-air anymore. There are Vikings coming out here for Heromarine, but the Banshees keep getting some value. They kill a couple more Marines, but now the Vikings are here. No recall in the arsenal of the Terran. And the Vikings, nice scoot and shoot from Heromarine. Manages to catch up with both Banshees. Nice job. And Heromarine catches both of those Banshees, kills them both, and no SCV losses whatsoever. But we might lose a couple SCVs here, because Heromarine is moving out with his army. He has 3 tanks, 2 Banshee, or 2 Ravens and Vikings. He's just moving across the map. Oh, this Cyclone. He's trying to get some value, but nice. Cancelling of the lock-on. Oh my god, GumiHo is in position! Dude, he's just out in the middle of the map! Well, it's actually at his potential 3rd base, but poor Heromarine just runs right into it with his siege tanks, and he just doesn't have an army, dude. Where are all of his Marines? They got shelled by the siege tanks earlier, and the Marine count was also just a little lower. Heromarine calls the G to the G. That was unexpected, to say the least. That looked like a fine fight, or a fine force, but look at that. Just 13 Marines of Heromarine just died. Just walked into their deaths, and then he felt like maybe he could do something with the interference matrices, but I mean, I think the lag was not very friendly there, because the moment they unpaused, Heromarine walked into a bunch of siege tanks. That's an ugly game, dude. Double factory siege tanks? Even just GG's out. I feel like if Heromarine just walks back there and, like, starts a 3rd CC or whatever, he's totally fine. I feel like he had air superiority as well, yeah. He's in a great position. I think he just doesn't want to play this game. That's my interpretation. I think that it was so laggy that he's like, nah, whatever. I'm not playing this bullshit. I just lost my whole army because of lag. I don't want to play like my heart out for the next 10 minutes. That's kind of what it seems like. Nothing much to do. Let's go into the next game. GumiHo is up 2-0 versus Heromarine, and we load up into Frostline for game number 3, which is a big line through a frosty landscape, and there's also a pretty fun wordplay on Frontline. So, for now, I like this map. Also, it doesn't have a bajillion bases. Reich was approved. Now, Heromarine looks like he's a little on edge. He ran into a brick wall named GumiHo twice now. Once his proxy didn't work out, and the other time his army ran into a siege line it did not predict was there. Like, the Ravens and the Vikings were just not quite in front enough to find that, and that's all because of that cyclone that GumiHo was kiting out in front of the army of Heromarine. Heromarine was just pulling back his army units to make sure that the cyclone couldn't get the value, and then, oh, you walk into a siege line. And then you try to break it, and then your opponent has a bunch of Stim Marines. That does not feel good. So, we kind of need to see Gabe, big Gabe, to step it up here. Reinvent himself a little. Shake off whatever's bothering him and play some good StarCraft. He's going to try and do that with the double gas. Quick factory. Where's GumiHo? Going for that quick CC into a slightly delayed factory with only the 1 gas. Well, let's see. Can Heromarine make it work this time around? Both players going for second Reaper. Oh, no, second gas is for GumiHo. I mean, GumiHo better be scouting for some proxies right now, dude. Like, you got proxied Gigahard in game 1. This Reaper could be, you know, looking around, but he knows that Heromarine went for the double gas last game, I think. I mean, he's GumiHo, he probably knows. Oh, he actually cancelled his second Reaper, didn't he? He actually did. Okay. Maybe he never started it and I was just hallucinating. That happens. I'm an AI. Sometimes I hallucinate stuff. Basically ChatGPT right now. Starport coming out for both players at a relatively similar time. Whereas HeroMarine's CC is way later than that of GumiHo. Hence my confusion that this double gas build is somehow popular. But you do have more gas for gas units. So we see the Cyclone coming out of HeroMarine, which GumiHo wouldn't be able to afford, question mark. Raven coming out though with the double Hellion. Ooh, that's going to be quadruple Hellion here for GumiHo. Not going to be making a medevac though. Would be kind of cool to see a Hellion drop into the main. But elects to not go that route. Zoom out a little. It's strangely addicting to be able to zoom out in this game. Because you're used to playing like this, and then you zoom out and you're like, whoa, I can see everything. Let's see what this is. Cyclone 4 Marine drop with a Hellion and 2 Reapers. There's a Raven going across the map. HeroMarine does not spot it because he would instantaneously kill that with the Cyclone drop here. And HeroMarine just jams his way into the natural. This is a lot of Hellions out of GumiHo. But HeroMarine's dealing good damage here. The healing on the Marines actually mattering a lot. And the positioning of HeroMarine there was super good. The Hellions never really got that juicy big AoE shot. And now the Cyclone has targets locked on to the Raven. The medevac, oh, doesn't get to drop its units anymore. Does die. RIP medevac. But HeroMarine got some good damage done there. Has a secondary force moving out already across the map. We have a Liberator. And HeroMarine now sieging up. He's making some Vikings. And GumiHo, oh, goes for a third base on location. He's feeling confident. He's like, okay, I held your attack. And I want to say he wasn't hiding the fact that he was going mech, but he's not going mech. He's making double barracks right now. Because if you make this many Hellions, it just... This Hellion Raven kind of looks like a... what's the guy called? A rough build. Now doesn't it? Ooh, Liberator of HeroMarine. This one is going to be very annoying to deal with. 4 barracks are being produced here by GumiHo. And look at this double siege tank Raven. Add your natural, GumiHo. Where are your units? GumiHo just doesn't seem ready for this. The SCVs come up the line. The Ravens go in with the auto turrets, but it's just not enough to take down both of the tanks. And with the tank being alive, GumiHo calls GG, and HeroMarine rights his wrongs, takes a game in this best of 5. But what a series it is. It is very confusing. I feel like these guys are just kind of dying left and right. Clearly a little discombobulated on both sides. 20 SCVs just going down. HeroMarine runs across the map and kills the shit out of him. What is this? Double racks? Double racks. I think there's a bug. You see this on the... Oh, I think 2 of them are building, and 2 of them might have been building, like, add-ons or something? I don't know. I think it's just a bug. Well, let's go to game number 4. And for game number 4, we load up into Ultralove. And I'm ultra not loving this series so far. What a... just trash pile. It's just a burning garbage bin. I don't know how you say it exactly, but this has just been the weirdest series ever, and GumiHo is just going to top it off with some extra bullshit. Going for the double proxy racks. Return in your face, HeroMarine. Now this would be poetic if it also fails and they somehow go into a best of 5 game 5, and all of the games were just kind of like, I hope it's the lag, or maybe it's just a stylistic mismatch between these players, because it's just been a garbage fire. That's the word I was looking for. Now, before we fire up this series, or this game at least, and get a little hot with it, be sure to like and subscribe. I do really appreciate it when people subscribe to my channel. And of course, more Homestory Cup action coming your way for the foreseeable future. I'm going to cover all of the playoffs and then most of the group stages. If there's any games you want to see in particular, do feel free to let me know. I'll make sure that those games come through, maybe even a little early. Now look at this, double Reapers. GumiHo going to show us how it's done, or is it just a bad build? Now, heromarine does not have that reactor, and actually this Reaper is about to come out. heromarine does have the double gas, so he has the factory. His Reaper runs into the Reaper right away. He saw the racks, he knows what's up. What is heromarine going to do? Is he going to build a bunker? He pulls a couple SCVs to tank. He's going to stand on top of his wall, but the Reaper is already in, and heromarine has to run away. Nice run around by GumiHo, making sure that he can get the 2-on-1 tag team action. This is kind of like in a Tekken tag fighter, I think, when one of your fighters has already died, but your opponent still has 2. Maybe it's a different tag fighter than I'm thinking about, but first Reaper goes down for both sides. No, only heromarine losing the Reaper. Wow, GumiHo, super low HP Reapers, but he hasn't lost 2 in the first 2 minutes of the game. And this Hellion has to do a lot. If this Hellion gets a big shot, it's going to be strong. Ooh, the barracks comes off the line, gives vision, and a 5th Reaper is coming out. Is he going to build a 6th? He is. The factory at home and a CC at home for GumiHo, so he is running away with this. He's going to just progress further in this game and already found some damage. Starport gets delayed here as well. Command center being built in the main base. This starport actually has to get cancelled. Oh, that's costly. That is not fun. The tech lab in peril as well. Some SCVs get pulled off the line. Nice grenade, completely discombobulating the Hellions here. And now heromarine fighting for his life in this tournament. Finally does manage to ward off these Reapers, even landing the racks, making sure that these units, if they A-move, sometimes they might just attack the racks instead of the units. And that's all gravy, baby. And we see the Cyclone upgrade coming out for GumiHo, making them do extra damage with their lock-on. And ooh, another Hellion does go down, but now finally the Reapers will perish. And heromarine does start his starport now, or almost completes it. And GumiHo also has his starport coming in, but Gabe is still faster. But this Cyclone build for GumiHo, what is it going to do? Dude, the proxy racks. Are these racks just going to stay? And is Gumi going to go for a mech? That would be quite nice. heromarine didn't fall too far behind in the worker count, but you can see that in the army count, he is slightly behind. I like this barracks here from GumiHo. Gets a little vision. I mean, you're gonna lose it. I would like it more if he just floats it a little bit more in front. You just want to see anything leave, because there's already going to be a unit, yes, out of this starport. So if he wants to kill your racks, waste the time to do it. He's gonna do it no matter what. Oh, the Rax actually doesn't see it, but heromarine finds it, and heromarine wants to spend his time killing this barracks, apparently. The other barracks is flying back home, trying to get there safely. Now, the spatial anomalies might just teleport them into the Delta Quadrant, but we'll see if that happens. There's always that one lone starship goes into the Badlands and doesn't come out. Deep Space Nine, baby. Or, well, that's Voyager, really, but heromarine does a little drop. No, oh no! That is not what you want to see. Oh, heromarine went for some nice harassment. Picks up his cyclones, and above the dead space here, you can't unload the units. GumiHo comes in from the back, boosts in, drops the cyclones, and locks onto that medevac immediately. puts heromarine into a very difficult position. Kills the medevac of GumiHo, though. So tit for tat in this game. One Cyclone does get out for GumiHo, so slightly better result for him. Still, both players losing their drop on the other side of the map. And some SCVs come off the line again. We've seen a push like this before. GumiHo's Cyclones are off the wall, dude. He gets the lock, and look at the lasers. Oh, misrally there. So GumiHo does have the upgrades for his Cyclones. It doesn't have any more Cyclones. Now, this is Ultralove. We saw Ryung versus Maru do something crazy, but there's 3 tanks. 3 of them things. Waiting already for GumiHo. It's like, nope, you're not getting a tank over here. Is heromarine going to get a tank over here, though? Oh, look at this. Siege is up. Is in range. Gets a nice shot off. He has air superiority. But is he going to keep it? 6 Vikings on the map here for heromarine. He's going to get some nice pressure. Kills this turret as well. Now, once this scan fades, is there more scans? No, there's... Oh, yeah, there's one more scan on the third base. If heromarine leapfrogs forward and he gets scanned, he might just lose all of his siege tanks. Oh, GumiHo has a temporary edge in the air. Oh, I think a marine walked forward, got shelled down right away. Now, is he gonna scum him? Is he just gonna move forward and siege? Nope. Gets scanned once he unsieges and just leaves. heromarine is containing GumiHo here. He starts his own third base. GumiHo, oh my god, GumiHo's going for a bust. He lands all of his Vikings, but this is a small choke. The Vikings of heromarine land as well. Go and fight for the cause. The Dominion calls upon you to wage war on our enemies. The Vikings do end up not making the difference because GumiHo's Vikings were already landed. And that just means slightly more DPS for GumiHo on the ground, even though heromarine was fully sieged up there. GumiHo took a lot of damage to break out here, but he did break the siege line before it could entrench itself too much. Like, imagine a couple more units there from heromarine. Maybe he gets a bunker or a turret or, like, slightly more air units. Could even start adding on ravens. Like, I think that was a nice moment for GumiHo to bust. And I like that he landed his Vikings. Maybe he could have landed them on either side. That would have been slightly better, I think. If you land 3 over here, 3 over there, and then go in from 3 sides instead of pushing all of your units into this choke. I thought Gumi might just take too much damage there, but it ended up being fine. And now if we look at the worker count, Gumi slightly ahead. If we look at the army count, heromarine is ahead there, so anybody's game at this point. Gumi just dunks down the 4th base. I don't know what it is about Ultralove, but we make expansions on location on this map, baby. Let's go. heromarine is not with the time yet. Maybe that's Korea meta. But triple starports coming out for heromarine with a 2nd factory as well. So is this going to be another SkyMech game, or is this just to catch up in the Viking count? We see Gumi going for the mech. And oh, I'm guessing that heromarine has identified that as well. Oh my god, the Cyclones with the upgrade. Dude, I hate to say it, but these Cyclones are cooler than the old ones. Just slightly. But they're not like budget stalkers anymore. You've heard me rant about that in the past. And look at GumiHo. He's just going for a long game, baby. He saw Ryung versus Maru and was like, oh, I need to play that. I'm gonna make some Thors, baby. Hell yeah, I'm gonna show Ryung how it's done. And wow, we see the Cyclone upgrade coming out for heromarine as well? Dude. We're gonna have another mech versus mech game on Ultralove? What is it with this map? When Terrans make love, they make mech units. They make factories. Let's see, how many starports does each player have? We see 3 versus 1. And then 3 versus 5 factories. So this does kind of look like the previous game. Or like Ryung Maru. But then reverse, I guess. Ooh, here come the Thor drops. I would say iconic from GumiHo himself. At least I relate Thor drops to GumiHo a lot. Doesn't drop on the Zolnaga, just checks it out. And now Sensor Tower comes out. Calming StarCraft 2 music in the background. 5th base being built on location. GumiHo's full Chad mode in here. His chin is just extending further and further out. Cyclone just checking out if there is a possible in for this Thor drop. And a 5th base is underway here. The Vikings could be in position. Oh, a small run by here. Cancels a command center. Bruises a siege tank. And this Thor drop is just hoping, but not getting a lot done. Look at the upgrades. +1 is done for Gumi. And he's starting +2 already. Only +1 plating for heromarine so far, even though heromarine knows pretty darn well that he's going mech himself. More siege or CCs being added on here, and a lot of Vikings come in here. So these medevacs are going to die. And then these Thors are also dead. Oh my god. On the other side of the map, though, we missed the battle mech entering into the 4th base of heromarine and completely crushing it. I was as distracted by that move as heromarine was. And the 4th base gets completely owned. 24 SCVs go down. That means that suddenly heromarine does not have as many SCVs as GumiHo. And Gumi has all of his bases, except for one of the corner bases. 3 more factories being added on here for Gumi. He's just in a wonderful position. Oh, these Vikings, they need to land on top of these Cyclones, but Cyclones are a little too fast for that. Heromarine lands, and he's like, please, please run into me. But Gumi is not going to do that. Oh my god, these Cyclones can just kite them out for days. This tank needs to step it up, get some extra range. You need to help your teammates here. Or your army mates. You used to serve together. Now some Cyclones for heromarine do come out to help, but all of the Vikings have been eradicated for only a couple Cyclones in trade, and heromarine, oof, takes a pretty gnarly trade there, is behind in resources lost significantly, and also has most likely, I don't know the thing for that, but mined less resources. And GumiHo just ships it. He's shipping it right now. Goes into the 3rd base of heromarine, and heromarine just GG's out. He's like, nope, I don't have the supply, I don't have the money, I can't deal with this anymore. And GumiHo takes the 3rd map in this series, which means that he wins the best of 5 over heromarine. And I was almost afraid that this was going to be the first 1 out of 8 mineral series that I've ever cast. And I don't think it is anymore, but I think it's still pretty bad. Like, this game was pretty fun, but the other ones were kind of dumpster fires. So, still like a 2 out of 8, I would say. It's on par with the Nightmare vs. Clem series, and I guess the first games of the playoffs can be blowouts, and these certainly were. Poor heromarine going for the Sky Mech, but not really getting to show anything. One very interesting interaction that we did see, that we didn't really see in Ryung versus Maru, is that Viking versus Cyclone dynamic, where heromarine had a lot of Vikings, but the Cyclones were just making sure that they couldn't do anything. I guess heromarine should have just taken the L and flown away, but he was trying to get something done because he just lost a full base, so he felt like he needed to punish something out of Gumi, and wasn't able to do so. GumiHo takes a 3-1 victory. I hope you guys still enjoyed this series somehow, some way, and otherwise I really hope that you come back for more in the future. More StarCraft 2, more Homestory Cup, more video games. Be sure to like, subscribe, leave a comment, and just keep watching. Thank you very much. I'll see you in the next one. Cheers.